watching Race for 10 Downing Street. I'm Geeta Mohan and we'll be discussing the Keir Starmer-Rishi Sunak debate. With just days to go before 4th July polling day, it is the final leg of the UK prime ministerial race. Conservatives Rishi Sunak and Labour's Keir Starmer went head-to-head in the final TV debate of the election between the leaders. With the Conservative Party trailing Labour by 20 points, the gloves were off in the 70-minute debate on BBC. The debate held in Nottingham was a fiery exchange over critical issues shaping the future of the United Kingdom. In a charged atmosphere, the two leaders sparred over immigration, healthcare and ethical governance amidst protests outside. Sunak, trailing in polls, aimed to reclaim ground, accusing Starmer of deceiving voters on immigration policies. Meanwhile, Starmer criticized Sunak's wealth and leadership, arguing for a change after 14 years of Conservative rule dominated by austerity and Brexit turmoil. So what was the biggest issue here? Immigration. On the back foot with record increase in illegal immigration into the UK, Sunak was on attack mode from the get-go. He repeatedly interrupted the Labour leader to dominate some early sections of the debate, notably on immigration.
It's completely unfair what's happening. When people come here illegally, jump the queue, it not only puts pressure on public services, it not only threatens our security, it's an affront to that sense of fairness, which is fundamental to our national character, and that's why I've made it a priority to stop the votes. We have made progress. The numbers have come down over the past 12 months compared to the 12 months before. But in order to fully solve this problem, you need a deterrent. We need to make it crystal clear to people that if they come to our country illegally, they won't be able to stay. And that's why, if I'm your Prime Minister on July 5th, the flights will go to Rwanda. We will build that deterrent that multiple other European countries now agree is the right way to deal with this problem, and that's how we solve this problem. If Keir Starmer is your Prime Minister, all those illegal migrants will be out on our streets, and that is the choice for you. Do not surrender our borders to the Labour Party.
And the Rwanda plan was back on the pitch platter. But Starmer did not let go of the issue, reminding the country of the failure in implementing the Rwanda plan.
Why are record numbers still coming under your watch, Prime Minister? How on earth can you say it's working? You put the scheme in place, the flights could go off. I noticed you called the election, by the way, before any flights could actually get off, and it could be tested, an interesting timing. But if this was such a deterrent, why is it obviously not working? Because they're not being processed, they cannot be returned to where they came from. Can they, Prime Minister? If he wants to correct that, now's his chance to do it.
And then came the Ayatollah jab. The Tory leader tried to corner Starmer on Labour's softer stance on immigration and how they plan to handle illegal immigrants, even taking a jibe at what they consider Labour's appeasement politics when it comes to minorities from Islamic nations.
Well, do you know where these people come from?
No, he's not answering the question.
Do you know where they come from? Iran, Syria, Afghanistan. So when Keir Starmer says he's going to return people, is he going to sit down? Are you going to sit down with the Iranian ayatollahs? Are you going to try and do a deal with the Taliban? It's completely nonsensical what you are saying, right? You are taking people for fools, right? I think that these people should not stay on our country. They will be on planes to Rwanda. That's what I will do with them. You still can't answer the question. What will you do with them?
All the tens of thousands?
All the illegal migrants who arrive will be processed and put on planes to Rwanda.
The debate saw Sunak defending allegations of ethical lapses within his party, promising strict consequences for those involved. Starmer, in turn, highlighted Labour's vision for restoring integrity to politics and delivering on public service commitments.
Because this isn't just, what's happened this week, last week in the Gambling Commission. We saw Partygate earlier in this Parliament. The Prime Minister himself was convicted and fined for breaking the rules which he brought in and imposed on everybody else. And, of course, we've seen what happened with the COVID contracts and the huge amounts of money that were made. This takes leadership. What I did when one of my team was alleged to have been involved and investigated by the Gambling Commission, they were suspended within minutes.
We had an independent internal inquiry into what happened, have taken action and suspended the candidates involved, and I've been crystal clear that they should face the full consequences of the law. But Keir Starmer talks about leadership in politics. That's what Sue's question was at, was a broad question about how to do that. I also think leadership means being straight with people. It means having the courage of your convictions. not changing your mind on every single position that you've taken and being upfront about what you want to do for the country. That's not what Keir Starmer is doing. He's not being honest with everyone about his plans to raise their taxes.
Right,
I think that will erode trust in politics, and that's the choice at this election.
In fact, the audience's candid question, and I quote, "Are you two really the best we've got?" underscored public disillusionment, drawing applause. Both leaders face scrutiny over their economic plans, with Sunak advocating tax cuts and Starmer pledging fully funded reforms without burdening taxpayers. Sunak claimed the party wanted to introduce a retirement tax. Sir Keir hit back, branding that a falsehood and adding, "He has raised tax 26 times. Nobody has raised more tax than this Prime Minister."
And what I want to do is cut taxes for people at every stage of their life. So for everyone in work, we're going to continue cutting national insurance, £900 this year. For pensioners, we have the Triple Lock Plus. We will raise the allowance, delivering a tax cut for pensioners, making sure that the state pension is never subject to income tax. If you're a young couple wanting to buy your first home, we're effectively going to abolish stamp duty. If you have children, you're a family, we're going to expand the generosity of child benefit.
Keir Starmer.
False, but Mohammed, I'll answer your. The Prime Minister said he warned the country about Liz Truss and the damage that she was going to do to our economy. And then in the next breath, he said we must unite behind her and support her. Why on earth would you unite behind someone that you say was going to do that damage?
On the sensitive issue of single-sex spaces and women's rights, both leaders outlined their stances, with Sunak affirming protection for such spaces and Starmer emphasizing inclusivity and dignity for all. As the debate concluded, contrasting visions for the UK's future emerged. Sunak urged voters not to surrender to Labour, promising security and prosperity, while Starmer appealed for change and a fresh start from Conservative policies. With the election just round the corner, the impact of this debate remains uncertain. Polls suggest a significant lead for Labour, but with unpredictable voter sentiment, the final outcome on July 4th could reshape the political landscape of the United Kingdom. For the latest from Battleground Britain, watch our YouTube channel India Today Global, where we bring you all the big highlights and detailed analysis on the race for 10 Downing Street.